Good afternoon, family and friends, and welcome back. I can't believe that the summer weeks are almost over and fall officially begins on this Saturday. But as we say every year, the summer weeks have gone too fast, as they always do. But I hope you had a relaxing summer, got some time away with vacation with family and friends. I did every year. I think I've mentioned to you a whole group of my friends. I think there were 18 of us this year. We spent 2 weeks up on Cape Cod doing absolutely nothing. And it was wonderful to be with my friends, to gather with them on the beach, gather with them for dinner and so forth, and really just to relax and do absolutely nothing. But it was a very interesting beginning to my vacation. I had to delay it by a day or so because right before I was supposed to go away on vacation, my aunt died. And my Aunt Jean was the last of her generation in my family. And so it was, again, gathering to get the family together for her funeral, which took place at Holy Family Church in Florham Park. And I think I mentioned to you that when my sister died in May, I became patriarch of the cousins. And now with my Aunt Jean dying, I now become patriarch of the whole family. Again, something I knew eventually would happen, but I did not want to happen so soon. Because I said Aunt Jean was the last of her generation of our family, and so now we move forward into the next generation. But now we move into the fall, and things will begin slowly happening around here, and maybe happening fast. So some things to look forward to as we get into October. I can't believe it's right around the corner. You may have seen already advertised the wonderful Polish night that the Knights of Columbus are going to sponsor here in Father Rugel Hall on Saturday, October the 7th, with wonderful Polish food, Polish entertainment, and maybe even some Polish dancing. I'm not sure. But tickets will be available beginning this weekend after the Masses here at Our Lady of the Valley. So you might want to come. I love Polish food, believe it or not. And so it's going to be a wonderful evening that the Knights of Columbus are sponsoring on Saturday, October the 7th. The very next day, Sunday, October the 8th, we will have the annual Blessing of Animals in honor of St. Francis of Assisi, whose feast day is October the 4th. So that'll take place on Sunday, October the 8th at 1:30 p.m. over here at the side of the Church of Our Lady of the Valley by the Marian Shrine. So bring your animals, cats, dogs, whatever. I'm still hoping for someone to bring something large like a horse, but who never knows what shows up. And it's always a fun afternoon for the blessing of the animals on that day. But also as part of the celebration of St. Francis, you know, our youth group in the beginning of October collects all kinds of food and items for cats and dogs, and then they donate them to a local animal shelter here in the Wayne area. So again, that takes place the first 2 weeks of October, and those items can be dropped off over at the parish center. There's a container on the back porch by the parish center. Also happening in October, as we do each year, will be the annual Diocesan Ministries Appeal, which formerly was called the Bishop's Annual Appeal. And as the weeks go ahead, you'll be hearing more about that. But one of the new things we're adding this year, and I'll get into further details in a couple weeks, we need to do a complete renovation of the food pantry at the Father English Center in Patterson. And it's been there many, many years, but right now it is in need of a major renovation. So part of the Diocesan Ministry Appeal this year will be dedicated to the renovation of the Father English Center food pantry. But I said, as the weeks go on, you'll hear more about that as the letters start coming out from the diocese and our bishop, and we start talking about it in the bulletin. And one whole message here on a Thursday will be dedicated to the Diocesan Ministries Appeal. So look forward for that as well. You know, today, Thursday, the 21st of September, is interesting. It's the feast of St. Matthew. Matthew the Apostle, Matthew the Evangelist. And it's interesting. For the longest time, scripture scholars thought that Matthew's gospel was the very first one written. And that's why when the canon of the Bible was set and the books were put in the order they're put in, that's why our gospels are Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John, because they thought Matthew was the first one written. But after a while, after the canon was set, they realized and determined, no, Matthew was not the first one written. His was written around the year 85, and Mark's was written around the year 70. But at that point, it would be too difficult to change the order of the canon because people were so used at that point even to say Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John. To try to get them to switch to be Mark, Matthew, Luke, and John, they said, just leave it the way it is. But today we honor Matthew, the writer of the second gospel, the tax collector. And it's wonderful to hear his stories and see him artwork because always we see in his story that God and Jesus work with mercy, always with mercy, never judgment. And that's one of the things our Holy Father Pope Francis is constantly reminding us about. We need to be people of mercy, not judgment. So enjoy these weeks. Welcome back. And as the weeks go on, there'll be more information getting out about things happening and other things happening in the parish and within the diocese and within the church as we get ready for the Synod of Bishops that begins next month in Rome. Enjoy this day, enjoy this weather, and look forward to the fall beginning on Saturday. Thank you.